Well, thanks everybody for coming out to Pitch Day for 100K. And if you've been here before, you know I love Pitch Day. Today's a great day to pitch, just like all of them are. And today we're going to hear about VegasNearMe from George, who's up second. We screen about 15 or 20 companies for everyone that's selected to pitch. So you've done well to get here. Startup Envy is Nevada's statewide nonprofit startup accelerator and incubator. We operate 5 nonprofit programs for entrepreneurs or founders, if you prefer, and 4 for-profit investment funds and syndicates that invest in our local entrepreneurs. Our nonprofit's supported by government grants and corporate sponsors in the short term, and over the long term by accelerator companies who pledge 1% of their stock to join the accelerator, and our investors who give back 5% of their profits also to the nonprofit. And we hope that by those people donating over time, that'll build a giant foundation, and we won't have to be so reliant on those grants and corporate sponsors. But that takes a while. So we run Pitch Day for 100K fortnightly on Wednesdays, where companies pitch for the Q&A that they're going to get and entry into our accelerator program, which comes with an investment from Fund Envy, our pre-seed fund. And that's added to by our investor syndicate. That total investment averages a little over $100,000, 50K from our fund, and usually we get a little bit more from the investors. And then that's matched by the states of Nevada's SSBCI program. So the minimum investment, if you make it in, is $100,000. Oftentimes it's more than that. So far, we've made 29 direct investments since 2021 when we made our first one. And they've ranged from $50,000 on the low end to $1.8 million on the high end. Our latest investment was in July, and we've got actually 2 that we're working on that might close in August. So those numbers should go up a little bit here between now and the end of the third quarter. We've invested a total of $5.9 million to date, including about $1 million from the SSBCI match. And 167 different investors have invested in our funds, SPVs, and other things that we've done in the community. Now for the legal disclaimer. The founders pitching today for investment are pitching to a venture capital fund and an accredited investor syndicate. The pitches are directed to our investors. Now we invite the whole community to come out and watch and attend and ask questions for educational purposes, kind of like watching Shark Tank. So the educational component is critical to our economic development mission here in Nevada. But once again, the pitches today are not a general solicitation from the general public. They are pitching to us, our investors. The rest of you guys, just watch it. Now, for information on entrepreneur and accredited investor programs, check us out at startupenvy.org. There's loads of detail about all that geeky stuff there. So our nonprofit would not be possible without financial help from grants and sponsors, chiefly the City of Las Vegas, Clark County, the Nevada Governor's Office of Economic Development, or GOED, as we like to call them here, the EDA, Eide Bailly, and KPMG. Thank you very much for your support. So, George, come on up.
Hello, everyone. My name is George Meyer, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of NearMe Entertainment. I'm excited today to talk to you about VegasNearMe. It's now available in both the Google Play and Apple App stores, and I encourage everyone to first scan the QR code and just go get the app. I think I'm going to talk a lot more about our background and the team and our Series A ask and the pitch, but I think it's important to get an idea of the scope of the project before I begin. The Apple App Store launched in 2008 with a total of 500 apps. Now, believe it or not, there's well over 5 million apps with 120,000 new apps launched each and every month. I can tell you that VegasNearMe is unlike 99.9% of these apps. The size and scope of the project is incredibly large. Let's see. So I've been in the mobile app business since 2010. And to give you an idea, my first app cost $10,000 to do. My second app, called Poker Near Me, was a $200,000 investment that I sold in 2014 for about $1 million in a cash and stock deal. In VegasNearMe, we already have $700,000 invested from friends and family type investors, and I have $1.5 million of my own money that's already into the project, right? But that only tells half the story. We've been working on this project for several years. I've never taken a salary. Most of our team has taken reduced salaries. And in fact, a large percentage of our team is based overseas. And they're not only incredibly talented, they're incredibly cost effective. So the $2.5 million doesn't even give it justice. So the problem that we have is pretty basic. Finding fun things to do or see is very frustrating. In fact, I started this whole project because I missed a Journey concert and got mad. But finding fun things to do or see is frustrating. And what I mean by that is if you look at these questions on the bottom, think about how many apps or different websites or different places you have to go to answer those questions. You're going to use dozens of different apps and websites. They all have different frustrating user interfaces. And the data is only about 50% right because they're largely getting the data off the websites, which are not good in and of itself. I'm going to show you a demo later in the app. But the best thing about VegasNearMe is this is all done in a single app that's fun and easy to use. And our data is excellent, right? It's going to get better, but it's excellent right now, much better than what you'd find in the other parts. And questions like these and thousands others are very, very easy to answer. In fact, during the Q&A, you guys can ask me anything, and Italian food near Caesars, and I'd like to demo to you because that's how amazing it is what we can find. Okay. We have a revolutionary patent pending design, and again, I'll show this in the demo, but a couple things I'd like to highlight. First, we have over 17,000 businesses that are organized in 300 different visual categories. Very unique. The second part is we have place maps. So we've actually mapped every resort, every casino, every shopping center, even arenas and stadiums to help people find stuff. Because right now, I guarantee you in every casino on the strip, there's 100 people asking where is you name it, right? We've made this really, really easy to be able to go do that. The third feature that I'm really, really proud of is we have curated podcasts and videos. We have 60,000 different podcasts and YouTube links that are built in the app. If you think about it now, how do you learn about stuff? To choose things, you'll read a Yelp review, which is a text review. Instead, what we've done is timestamped and curated all this. And by the way, that's one of our key patents that we've tried to protect on this front. But the app is filled with different things that I think when you look at it now, you're like, this is the way all discovery apps should be. This is the way they all should work. In fact, we make it really easy to find anything near anywhere, or to tell us you have a 14-year-old kid, what can he or she do, right? Stuff like that is very, very easy to do. Our competition, and before I begin on the competition slide, this is probably the first competition slide I've done in 20 years. I built a business basically teaching companies that if they want to build a successful business, you have to focus on your customers. You have to ruthlessly focus on what do your customers want. And that's the way we've been thinking about this. But first of all, let me begin by saying Google and Yelp and Alphabet, Alphabet and Yelp are amazing companies. They could very well be exit partners for us. So I don't want you to take this in any way that I'm attacking them. But their model is to do everything everywhere. It's really hard to get data accurate when you do that. And in Vegas, the data is about 50% right on fun things to do or see. Our closest direct competitor is probably Vegas.com. We both cover fun things to do or see. The big difference is they don't cover anything unless they make money from it, right? So if they can make money off it, somehow it's covered. And I think we have anywhere from 5 to 10 times as much data in the app on more things that are covered within VegasNearMe. And then all of these other features that I could show you here in a second. With a normal app, you would launch it and promote it almost immediately. With an app of this size and scope, however, that's not the right way to do it. What we first did is we launched an iOS app, a soft launch. We didn't tell anybody about it was there. We did that way back at the end of the year. We did the same thing with our Android app. We didn't even have maps yet, and I knew that maps was a key feature that we wanted to have built in. We reached feature parity a couple months ago, which was also very essential to me. I want to have the same user experience on the Android app or the Apple app that you can go see. And now both apps are incredibly solid with great place maps. So the product, I mean, there's lots of things we're going to do to improve the product, but it's great already. Now we're starting to promote it. So we just did a deal with Nuwu that'll be promoting it, Notoriety, Bumper, you might have seen cars running around town, and this is all starting actually this month. Okay. We monetize the app in a variety of different areas. So this is an interesting slide to me because once you do an app, you don't know how many people have app ideas. Free apps will generally tell you 99% of the way they're going to make money is advertising. Advertising for us could be a really big potential monetization area. But I think coupons and deals with revenue sharing are probably our largest long-term revenue area. But we also get affiliate revenue. So we have deals with Priceline and Viator. If you book a hotel room, car, or buy a show ticket, you can go in it. But then we have coupons and deals with revenue sharing, and then advertising will be coming. But I think about 70% of our revenue will come from coupons and deals. The way that works in our app is very, very unique. If you think about it now, Groupon might put an oil change coupon next to an Italian restaurant. Since we have all these visual categories, we know that if you're looking at, say, rhythm and blues music and you like that, I can promote the Sand Dollar because they play a lot of rhythm and blues stuff there. Or the same thing, we could put stuff in featured or put things in Italian or different categories. And then the coupons and deals are all shown. These are revenue share partnerships, which are really interesting for long-term potential. Our total addressable market is a percentage of the global tourism market. So if you think about it, any of these, the tourism market guys would gladly pay 10 to 20% to be able to move their stuff. So we're trying to take a cut of that off the top. I mean, Priceline basically gets 15% if you make a booking through them from a hotel in town. Stuff like that is where it happens. If you funnel that down to our sum, I think it's easily $100 million within 5 years. The global opportunity is much bigger from what we can have here. And this is the way we've broken it down. Again, I believe that coupons and deals with revenue sharing are going to be the largest potential revenue generation for us. Right now, we have 7 coupons or deals in the app. I want to have thousands, or at least hundreds. I mean, that really changes the game because that only drives downloads, but that really monetizes the app. The team that we put together is just world class. I've been in the software business for 35 plus years. I worked for big tech companies. I'm best known for a company called iOmega. In the mid-90s, we launched a product called the Zip Drive. At the time, it was the fastest growth in the history of American business. We went from 141 million to 1.2 billion in 12 months. I managed a product line, left as GM of their software business. So I've been around software engineers my whole life. I've been working on iPhone apps ever since 2010 when I moved to Vegas from the whole point. Joe Keeley actually was the CTO of the company I hired to do my Poker Near Me app. He saw what we were doing and he got so excited he ended up leaving and joining us to come do this. And he's just the best software engineer I've ever met. Him and I co-founded the company. One thing we realized that we didn't have any expertise in was the Vegas business and the show and event business. Debbie Bingham, who's here today, was former #2 at Vegas.com. So she grew them from 300,000 to 300 million, managed the majority of their employees. So we've got a really, really good team that's behind this. This is what we're offering. So we're looking for a $3 million on a $25 million fully diluted post-money valuation. We are offering a dividend preference. So, once your investment blocks can be as small as 50,000, and once that's put in, we will match, with dividends before it goes back to an equal percentage. And then I want you to think of one thing. One of the things I'm really proud of is the name of the brand. I learned really quickly at iOmega. Nobody knew iOmega. Everybody knew a Zip Drive, right? Our brand is a really important part of what we created here. VegasNearMe is just our first city. We have built this as a platform that can span all over the world. And Las Vegas is just our first city.
Okay, Jeff, back to you.
Thanks again to our presenters today. And just a few program notes as we wrap up. First, some things to pay attention to with us over the next few weeks and months. Launch Rural Nevada program starts not next week, but the week after. We have weekly meetings through our finale in Elko on the 3rd of November. We have Scale Up also in that same week on the 18th at WeWork. So come and see us there. Level Up is on the 15th of September, also at WeWork. So come visit us then. Our Incubate Vegas program, where we're teaching very early stage founders with ideas, kind of how to get to the next step and maybe raise some capital. That starts right here in this room on the 20th of September. That program is 10 weeks long and is free to all founders who want to go, thanks to a grant from Clark County. The next couple of things are both the week of the 25th of September. If you're in Reno, you're going to want to come to Startup Week in Reno. It's at a bunch of locations. So just check it out. Startup Week Reno. Lots of different lectures, lots of different fun things to do, scavenger hunts. It's just a celebration of being an entrepreneur and has a few lectures mixed into the mix too. Here in Vegas, we're going to have a big presence at Mobile World Congress. And we have a bunch of free tickets to that. So if you want to go, jump on our website, email one of us here at Startup NV, or if you're part of our Slack channel, then just jump on the Slack channel and just ask one of the moderators, and we can get you some tickets to Mobile World Congress. And then we got more stuff, but the last thing I'm going to mention here is our Angel NV Founders Bootcamp, the one that leads up to the $200,000 investment by the Angel NV Group. That starts for founders on 10/10. So that takes about 13 weeks. For founders who are a little more advanced, probably ready to raise money right now, or think they're ready to raise money right now, we're going to teach you how to go about doing that, or at least understanding that maybe you're not ready at this time, because we'll tell you what angel investors and early stage investors are looking for and how to get ready to use them. And investors, if you're curious about startup investing and you think some of these ideas that you're hearing now is cool, and you maybe want to jump into a fund that's going to invest in several of them and de-risk you, then check us out. We're raising for two funds right now, Fund NV2, the follow-on fund to our current Fund NV fund, which we have several more investments yet to make, but we're raising a $2 million accelerator fund. And then our seed fund, 1864, a $10 million seed fund to do a little bit larger rounds. We're raising for that right now. So again, jump on the Startup NV website, or the Fund NV website, or the 1864.fund website. You can find out about all that stuff there at any of those sites. And thanks again to the founders who pitched today, everybody who listened in. We're going to be back here again in 2 weeks with 2 more founders pitching to us. So until then, take care of yourself. And if you can, someone else do. We'll see you in 2 weeks.